welcome back to the Calm and Connected podcast. I'm your host, Janine Halloran, and today I wanted to talk about some ways that you can practice problem solving using creative prompts. So I first used this activity when I was running a summer program for kids who needed more practice with social interactions with other people. And I found a version of this activity somewhere, I think maybe online or something like that. And then I adapted it to work in the setting where I was. So one of the first things I like to think about when I run social skills groups is I don't want to do a lot of prep beforehand. Like I really like to make sure that it's something practical and something that I can just use what I have on hand, and I don't need to like go out and buy a bunch of different stuff. I just want to make sure that I can use the things that I have and bring that to the group using different kinds of strategies to work through social skills. So I like this activity because you use a bunch of materials that you have on hand, and then you use the problem solving prompts. So those are just some ideas of things that kids can create. So when I did this activity with a group that I did, I put out materials like paper straws, cardboard boxes, cotton balls, regular size, all different sorts of sizes of balls, yarn, paper cups, clothespins, popsicle sticks, tape, I think duct tape too, paper clips, all sorts of fun sort of stuff. But that was stuff that I had on hand. I had it was in the supply closet. I didn't have to go out and I didn't have to buy special things. I just wanted to use what I had there. And then what I did was I had the group choose the problem that they wanted to solve. So I had a list of, I think maybe 10 or 20 prompts. So some of them were like build a house for a small figure, or make a device that can carry a stuffed animal from one place to another or across the room, or make an invention a kid would love. Well, one day that was very memorable to me was when the kids in the group chose to make up their own game. So I remember they made cardboard boxes, and they used the cardboard boxes as the goals for the game, and they worked on making the rules together. They had a scorekeeper, they had a scorecard, and they used I don't remember all the exact details of it, but they used yarn and some of the different size balls to like roll the balls into the different goals. And all I remember was like just stuff everywhere on the floor. And it was really fun. It was fun. And what was neat was that the way that the group just played out was there were some younger kids in the group and there were some older kids in the group. So I had like late elementary kids, and I had high schoolers, middle schoolers and high schoolers in the group. So the older kids really took on this cool leadership role, and and they really were trying to empower the younger kids and like listen to their ideas. And then the younger kids were super excited because they got to be with the big kids. And so it was really neat to see sort of that group dynamic happen with these different ages of kids. But it was fun because they were working together to solve the problem of let's create a game. Let's figure out what kind of game we want to play. What are the rules? How do we play? What happens if this happens in the game? And then they would like add on different rules to, sort of account for that different thing that happened that they weren't expecting to happen. It was really neat to see their problem solving skills in action, talking through the problem, coming up with solutions, trying them out, seeing if it worked, and then continuing to go on and have a blast playing. So I always find whenever I work on a social skills activity, I'm often working on more than one social skill at once. You can't really isolate one skill when you're playing a game as a group. There's lots of different strategies that are going on. So for instance, this activity that we did with the problem solving, they were also working together. They were also listening. They were also taking turns. So it encompasses a lot of different kinds of social skills. But as the group leader, you can set the focus and intention of the group with the questions and the way that you set up the whole scenario of running the social skills group. So whenever I run social groups, I like to start with a discussion of the particular focus that I've chosen for the day. So in this instance, it was problem solving. So we talked about what problem solving looks like and when is it helpful to do that and when should we use that and that sort of thing. And then we did the activity together. with some scaffolding. I was there, and I think there was another adult in the room, and it was sort of fun to be able to help them work through the problems that they were having, work through the problem solving steps. And then afterwards we debriefed, like, how did that go? Did you like that? Did you not like that? What were the positives? What were the things that we need to still continue to work on as a group? So it was really cool to be able to do that. But I set the intention of, let's do this as a problem solving activity. But obviously there were other sort of social skills that we were working on as we were doing that. So I love social skills groups so much. I really enjoy the group dynamic. I enjoy watching kids learn how to work together and being able to step in and help them when it gets a little tricky, to figure out what works and what doesn't, and like what can we do better the next time. I like it so much that I wrote an entire book about it. So it's called Social Skills for Kids, and it focuses on 15 different social skills. And that includes things like listening, working together, being kind, watching your own personal space and other people's personal space, taking turns, that sort of thing. And just like the activity I described, which is actually in the book under working together, I try to make the activities as simple as possible. So using materials you already have on hand and worksheets in the book to make it super easy, super simple. So if you're interested, it's available on Amazon and at the Coping Skills store. And I'll have links to that in the show notes. And as always, thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this podcast. I hope that you enjoyed this activity, and you can go ahead and try this with the kids that you work with in a social group. Let me know how it goes if you try. I'd love to hear from you and see how it went for you and what went well and what needs to be worked on. And if you like this podcast, please take a moment to rate it wherever you listen and share it with your colleagues and friends. And as always, don't forget about yourself. Take a few minutes, have a little fun, and have an awesome day.